Hey guys, here we are again, Chapter 5, Lesson 4A, getting close to the quiz. This objective, we're going to write equations in point-slope form. So previously we worked with slope-intercept form. This is going to be a new form of a linear equation called point-slope form. So as the name of this equation kind of tells you, we're going to need a point and the slope. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of break down where this equation comes from so you have a solid base of understanding. So if we know the slope in any point, we can write an equation originally from the slope formula. The slope formula being y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So for this example, I'm just going to use these numbers, okay? I'm going to say that our slope is 3, and it's going to go through the point 2, 1. All right, 2 is our x, y is 1, and then I'm going to let x and y, the letter x and y, be another point on that line. I don't know what that value is, so I'm just assigning it x and y. So here's the slope formula, and all I'm going to do is plug in or substitute these values into the slope formula. Notice we said the slope was 3, so here's the 3. Replacing the m, y1 was 1, x1 was 2. Okay, all I did so far was just plug them into the slope formula. That's all I have up here, same thing, just for bringing a new page. And what I'm going to do now is multiply both sides by this x minus 2, which is in the bottom here. What's going to happen is this x minus 2 and this x minus 2 cancel each other out. That's the purpose of doing it. And we are left with 3 x minus 2 equals y minus 1. That's what we did. We simplified it. So if I look at this equation right here, the number out in front here, 3 is my original slope. 1 is my original y value, which is subtracting from a y. 2 is the original x, which is subtracting from the x. This leads us directly to the point-slope formula. Okay, the point-slope formula is this. If we have a slope of m and it goes to the point x1, y1, these are sub-numbers, subscript. We talked about them briefly in chapter 4, a little tiny bit, but this is just saying this is my first one, this is my second one. Actually, we talked about an earlier slope too. What am I thinking? But the point-slope form of the equation is going to be the letter y minus my y value of the point. Okay, always minus the y value equals m, which is my slope that is given, or you may have to find that, times the x value, the x variable minus my x value from my ordered pair. So point slope does have a y, it does have an x, just like slope intercept, but it's going to be y minus the y value equals m times x minus my x value. Okay, you're going to want to write that down. Let's do some examples if we're just given the information, just flat out given this information. Write an equation in point-slope form for the line containing the slope given that point. So my slope is 1/6, my point here is 5, 1. So I'm just going to do y minus, now I'm going to look at my y value is 1, equals my slope, and then it's always going to be x minus my x value. That's it. That's the point-slope form. And now what this tells you, if you were given this equation, it looks super weird and wacky, but now hopefully over some time it's going to be developing. If you see it's in this form, this number is my slope, and it goes through the point 5, 1. Okay, so let's take a look at the second one. What do you come up with for the second one? You do it. Let's see how you did. Did you get y minus 3 equals my slope of -4, and then x minus 0, which we could simplify if it's x minus 0. Just wanted to show you this in case you were wondering, well, can I do that? We could simplify this and just get -4x. But this, I want to point out, this is the point slope form because it actually gives you the ordered pair of 0, 3. Let's try the third one. Try C. See what you get for this one. Did you get y plus 4 equals 1 times x plus 1? Why is this one positive 4 plus 4 and x plus 1? Why do you think that is? The reason it is because the point slope form is always minus. So if we have a negative point, like we do here, we have a negative x and a negative y here. If we have that, the minus and then the negative sign cancel each other out to make a plus. So if you have a positive sign in a point slope form, you've got to remember that actually means it's a negative value in the ordered pair. Okay. Let's take it another step. Write an equation in slope-intercept form for a line with a slope of 3 and contains that point. So if I want to put it in slope-intercept form, but I'm given a point and a slope, I'm going to want to do point-slope form. All right, write the equation point-slope form first. That's what I'm going to do. So go ahead. What's the equation in point-slope form? Hopefully you got, this is my x, this is my y minus 4 equals, my slope is 3 times x minus negative 1. So instead of writing minus negative 1, I'm just going to write plus 1. Point slope form. Now, it is pretty simple to put it in slope-intercept form. Why do you think I had you solve for y so many times? If I make my equation say y equals, it's in slope-intercept form. So all I have to do up here, if you look carefully, is solve for y. So what do I want to do? I don't want to add 4 here, but I can't add 4 yet. Why not? Let's see, did you guess? We have to distribute the 3 first. We have to distribute 3 to the x and 3 to the 1 to get 3x plus 3. And now I can add 4 and add 4. So I'll add 4 here. And I get, oh, that's another 4. I will get y equals 3x plus 7. So this equation in slope-intercept form is the same exact equation of this in point-slope form. That would have a slope of 3 and go through this point. All right, so what we did was we put it in point-slope form. We then distributed the slope to the x and the x value, and then we either we isolated the y by adding or subtracting whatever that value is. One more step. Write an equation in slope-intercept form that has a slope of negative 4 and contains the, oh, not another step. This is the one I wanted you to do independently. So go ahead, take your time, pause it here, and go through this problem. Let's see. First, you had to write it in point-slope form. So I have y plus 8 equals, my slope is negative 4, and then x minus 2. I'm going to distribute my slope. Then I'm going to subtract away the 8 on the left side with the y, and I'm left with y equals negative 4x. Cancel out. So there's my equation in slope-intercept form. Y-intercept is not there, which means it's just going to be 0. What is the equation of a line in point-slope form that goes through these points? Oh, if you need point-slope form, you need the point, which we have, and the slope. But the slope's not given. So what do we got to do first, do you think? Find the slope. Then we can use the slope and the point. So the first thing we have to do is go all the way back to one of our earlier lessons this chapter and find the slope. All right. I'm going to call this x1 and y1. I'll call this x2 and y2. And I'm just going to do 0 minus negative 2. That's my change in my y's. And then I'm going to do 4 minus 3 and I'm going to get 2 over 1 for a slope of 2. So my m here is 2. Now I can use either point. It doesn't matter which point because it's going to go through both of them. I might as well pick the one I'd rather work with. I'm going to work with 4 and 0, a positive and a 0. I always love zeros. Okay, so now I'm going to do point slope form, which is y minus my y value of 0 equals my slope of 2 times x minus my x value of 4. So this is point slope form. Here, point slope form. If I wanted to put it in slope intercept form, this is perfect because there's nothing on this side. It's minus 0. So all I would need to do is distribute this 2, and I would have it in slope intercept form. Now it doesn't ask me for that. You have to pay close attention. It wants it in point slope form. The previous 2 problems went in slope intercept. Now that you know 2 different types, you have to make sure you're answering in the correct form. All right, this video is a little bit longer. It's new information, a little in depth, but that's it. To practice is IXL S23 and the point slope form for in Khan Academy. All right, good job.